somehow we all came together and decided that this project of the Smith Opera House would be a good thing to do, and we took it on.
I was manager of the then known Geneva Theater from 1975 to its closing in November of 1977. We shot a movie that summer in the theater titled The Last Show, and little did I know how it would parallel the exact happenings of the theater being closed. It did close. Geneva Concerts took it over for 6 months until June of '78. And during that summer, the other 4 guys and myself got together and tried to find out how to reopen it. Paramount seemed to be the best of all the film companies that were available to us. And they just happened to have Saturday Night Fever available for us. And at the same time, Paul Brown, being an English teacher, had access to kids that were involved in theater. So his idea was to get a group of kids together with chaperones and open up the second floor of the theater upstairs in the front to disco.
We each had to take different nights, and for the first weekend and the first Saturday, it was all hands on deck. We all had to be here. The place was packed. Kids were dancing in the theater, but the disco was going on upstairs Saturday night. And, we expected, I don't know what we expected, maybe 100 kids, but we had probably 200 or 300. The stairwell was packed. The parent chaperones were mortified, and there were actually, I remember being up there, and this kid who was probably a junior or senior at Geneva High, he came dressed for the part, and he break dance on the floor. He did the whole thing, and he was fabulous, and it was a hopping place. It was amazing.
You might see pictures of the old marquee, and that involved taking this really tall wooden stepladder down in the bar area. Now is where the letters were kept, and so we would spell out twice, once for each side of the marquee, for Saturday Night Fever, and maybe John Travolta or whoever was starring in it, and then one of us on the ground would be throwing the letters up to the person on top of the stepladder, who would hook it onto the little grab bars up on top, do that on one side, and then on the other side do it all over again.
An interesting feeling, a sigh of relief, was after that first weekend, we had to make a bank deposit, and we deposited about $3,000. This was our take on the weekend part. And I just remember thinking, gosh, this theater business is going to be really easy. If we can make $3,000 every weekend, we're going to be fine. We'll be able to start working on the theater. Well, it was one of the best weekends we had. And there were a lot of movies where we were putting in, less than 1,000 and even less than that sometimes. So it became a challenge, and we were not going to save the theater without the community's support.